Hello everyone, welcome back. I definitely wanted to make a video to just kind of get back into the swing of things, and today I wanted to talk about something that I am dealing with, and I'm sure all wheelchair dealer users are dealing with, regardless on what your diagnosis is. But I'm going to be speaking from my perspective as a new paraplegic. So, the one thing that we know about life is the facts. We're all going to have health issues. We age, we decline, and the only promise we have in this world is we don't get out of this one alive. And with that being said, we are still alive. We get to be alive and we get to make the choices and live our life the way that we want within the realms of our control. And so, even when you feel like you don't have control or you no longer have control over your body, you still are an individual being. You have the capacity to make your own decisions and you can choose the life that you want to live, regardless on what physical or mental obstacles you have. There are always ways around them. So, without further ado, the one thing that I wanted to talk about with this video is how to advocate for yourself with doctors who think that, at least in my experience, and I don't think I'm alone, they seem to have this opinion that we like to come and see them and pay to just hang out with them and get told that we're fine and to leave. Seems like you have to do that 5 or 6 times before they listen to you, and that's just unacceptable. One thing that I think that is helpful in advocating for yourself is to take a lot of the emotion out of it, because some of the things that you go through is scary, and trying to explain to someone like how much pain you're going through is overwhelming. And up until this point, I did not study to be a spinal cord patient. I didn't take that course in college or high school or didn't even know it was offered, so it was all brand new to me. And you just kind of lean on the knowledge of your doctors and your physical therapists around you and hope that they're making the best decisions for you. And later on to find out that they also don't really know what they're doing because it's not their specialty and they've never really dealt with any spinal cord patients before, and it's all new to them too. And so you have to know that the person that cares the most about yourself and your life is always going to be you. You can have people who love you, you can have family members that are well meaning, but your life, your destiny is your hands. So you need to take charge of it, because doctors, they're going to see you 5 to 10 minutes. If you just go away and disappear and they collect their money, they are just fine with that. You do have to tell them like what is wrong. You have to be concise, and you have to understand that doctors generally have a kind of type A personality, and they like bullet points. And so, not to just stereotype everyone, but they're a little bit more analytical than the rest of us. So if you can come to them with like actual facts and numbers and like frequencies, these tend to take you a little bit more seriously. And as long as you're not like losing your mind and crying all over the place, they that increases your odds of at least getting acknowledged. That doesn't mean they're going to take you seriously. They still like to pat you on the head and tell you you're fine, and or this is just a lifelong thing, and go from there. So when you are advocating for yourself, try to contain your emotions, practice what you're going to say, maybe put down like your thoughts, the most important things, on a little note card so you can just have it, or write it out and give it to them, or email it to them prior to see if they'll actually read it and like contemplate what you're going through before you actually get there. But in my like observations, it does seem like doctors are overscheduled, they're overworked. They generally are not in charge of that. They are working for a hospital, and they are the ones who are in charge of it. And when you get your bill and you see that you got billed like $500 for that hour, that doctor probably didn't even get paid 100, honest. It mainly it's going to this corporate monster that just keeps eating up all of our resources, but that's for a different video. Um, and when you are trying to like describe what you're going through as far as pain or symptoms are, before you do bring it to the doctor, make sure that you are not being overly, don't be a hypochondriac. It is new and it is scary, but not everything that you're going through is the end of the world. Um, if you are constantly going back and crying wolf, like no one's going to take you seriously, that is just the unfortunate fact of life and of humankind. So when you are like keeping down your frequencies, like of how many times like you spasm, what is triggering it, or what symptoms you're having, make sure they are not explainable by something easy, like you're having spasms because you have a pressure sore on the bottom of your foot, or you have like ingrown toenails that need to be addressed. Those are little things. Now, as far as like pain goes, we do have, at least for, like I said, for a paraplegic or any spinal cord injury, it is known that you are now going to have chronic, lifelong nerve pain, just pain in general. Yay, I'm so sorry. And that is something that is manageable. I myself do not take medication for it. Um, and I feel like not taking medication for it is something that will help when you notice a change, like a big change. Say if your pain level is normally a 5 and it jumps up to a 9 repeatedly, that is time to go to a doctor. And when they tell you it's just nerve pain, you can be like, hey, I actually do know what nerve pain is. But the problem is that like my normal pain is this and this is this, and I really think like we need to do something like an MRI on my shoulders to figure it out, which is a very pointed situation, which is what I'm going through right now. Um, the one thing as a paraplegic, you're asking your body to do so much more than it was ever designed to do. Your shoulders don't want to push a wheelchair around all day. And it is very common to get like a repetitive motion injury. It's also, unfortunately, like you fall sometimes. Maybe you hurt yourself in other ways. But to just see a spinal cord patient and to just assume that their pain is just nerve pain and they should start taking medication for it it's illogical. I At a certain point you have to be like, hey, this person is coming here. Let's at least do an x-ray, if not an MRI, and see what's going on. Because there are so many things that can happen as a spinal cord patient that are abnormal. No spinal cord injury is the same. And then on top of that, we can develop just pressure points in our shoulders. That's pretty straightforward on how to fix it. But when you are going to the doctor, make sure that you know what you are trying to achieve. And if they are not going to listen to you, a very useful tool that I have is to just ask them straight up, like, how would you want to be treated? And normally what that does is they stop and they think for a second and then they will do what you need to do. And to date, I have not been wrong about myself. So, in closing, when you are advocating for yourself, don't take no for an answer. Like, if they are not willing to do it, which I have experienced also, tell them that, all right, so I would like you to put down that you are not willing to do any sort of exam, and I am going to go see another doctor and see what happens. But other than that, I love you all. Make sure you talk to a therapist, and you have a great day.